Hello, my name is Sweet Dreams. It's my first time on YouTube. I'm currently streaming on Twitch as well. Um, let me try this again. This is very weird. I wonder why I can't stream on my Twitch. Give me one moment. Well, this kind of sucks. I wonder why I can't stream from both Twitch and YouTube. This is very interesting. Well, I guess for right now, I hope you can bear with me and just listening to me if you're on Twitch. So, from our book of useless information, let's read from this page. When young and impoverished, Pablo Picasso kept warm by burning his own paintings. Does that mean there's a collection of paintings that no one knows exist because he was burning them? Michelangelo carved the framed Medici tomes in Florence. I hope I pronounced that right. Sorry. I hope the music's not too loud. Okay. Vincent van Gogh decided to become an artist when he was 27 years old. See, age does not matter whether you want to do things or not. You can decide when you're 27 or older. You don't have to be 18 to to have everything figured out. Van Gogh cut off his left ear. His self-portrait with bandaged ear shows the right one bandaged because he painted his mirror image. Oh, interesting. During his entire life, Van Gogh sold only one painting, Red Vineyard at Aries. Van Gogh committed suicide while painting wheat field with crows. That's sad. That's sad to know. Alexander Graham Bell made a talking doll that said "Mama" when he was a young boy in Scotland. He never telephoned his wife or mother. They were both deaf. Aristotle thought blood cooled the brain. Live and learn, am I right? That is enough of that. Huh. Sorry, I'm sorry, I'm still trying to figure out what the Twitch, what's going on. But, oh, I guess I can't simultaneously stream from one webcam. I wonder if it would have to be different if I have to stream from something else. That sucks. So, let's get right to the Grimm Fairytales. Also, I'd like to apologize to the followers and viewers that come in to listen to storytelling, or the not storytelling, but the live readings. I am very sorry. I have been gone all of last week because I work retail, and last week was super busy getting everything Christmas out. I have been left extremely exhausted, and that's why I decided not to stream all of last week. Yeah. I am not. I got home so late also. Just so late. But, oh well. I'm just glad last week is over and done with, and I can go back to my regular streaming days. But right now I'm just waiting for my supervisor to... Hello, Rosie Peach. Hello. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm just waiting for my supervisor to call me or text me when she arrives here because I'm expecting something to come. Well, she's giving me my new work device. So, yeah. Okay. So, let us read from the Grimm Fairytales. The Wolf and the Seven Little Kids. There was once upon a time an old goat who had 7 little kids and loved them with all the love of a mother for her children. One day she wanted to go into the forest and fetch some food. So she called all 7 to her and said, "Dear children, I have to go into the forest. Be on your guard against the wolf. If he comes in, he will devour you all, skin, hair, and everything. The wretch often disguises himself, but you will know him at once by his rough voice and his black feet." The kid said, "Dear mother, we will take good care of ourselves. You may go away without any anxiety." Then the old one bleated and went on her way with an easy mind. It was not long before someone knocked at the house door and called, "Open the door, dear children. Your mother is here and has brought something back with her for each of you." But the little kids knew that it was the wolf by the rough voice. "We will not open the door," cried they. "You are not our mother. She has a soft, pleasant voice, but your voice is rough. You are the wolf." Then the wolf went away to a shopkeeper and bought himself a great lump of chalk, ate this and made his voice soft with it. Then he came back, knocked at the door of the house and called, "Open the door, dear children. Your mother is here and has brought what? Brought something back with her for each of you." But the wolf had laid his black paws against the window, and the children saw them and cried, "We will not open the door. Our mother has not black feet like you. You are the wolf." Then the wolf ran to a baker and said, "I have hurt my feet. Rub some dough over them for me." And when the baker had rubbed his feet over, he ran to the miller and said, "Strew some white meal over my feet for me." The miller thought to himself, "The wolf wants to deceive someone," and refused. But the wolf said, "If you will not do it, I will devour you." Then the miller was afraid, and made his paws white for him. Truly, this is the way of mankind. So now the wretch went for the 3rd time to the house door, knocked at it, and said, Open the door for me, children. Your dear little mother has come home and has brought every one of you something back from the forest with her. The little kids cried, First, show us your paws that we may know if you are our dear little mother. Then he put his paws in through the window, and when the kids saw that they were white, they believed that all he said was true, and opened the door. But who should come in but the wolf? They were terrified and wanted to hide themselves. One sprang under the table, the second into the bed, the third into the stove, and the fourth into the kitchen, the fifth into the cupboard, the sixth under the washing bowl, and the seventh into the clock case. But the wolf found them all, and used no great ceremony. One after the other he swallowed them down his throat. The youngest, who was in the clock case, was the only one he did not find. When the wolf had satisfied his appetite, he took himself off, laid himself down under a tree in the green meadow outside, and began to sleep. Soon afterwards the old goat came home again from the forest. Ah, what a sight! What a sight she saw there! The house door stood wide open. The table, chairs, and benches were thrown down. The washing bowl lay broken to pieces, and the quilts and pillows were pulled off the bed. She sought her children, but they were nowhere to be found. She called them one after another by name, but no one answered. At last, when she came to the youngest, a soft voice cried, Dear mother, I am in the clock case. She took the kid out, and it told her that the wolf had come and had eaten all the others. Then you may imagine how she wept over her poor children. At length, in her grief, she went out, and the youngest kid ran with her. When they came to the meadow, there lay the wolf by the tree, and snored so loud that the branches shook. She looked at him on every side and saw that something was moving and struggling in his gorged belly. Ah, heavens, she said. Is it possible that my poor children, who he has swallowed down for his supper, can still be alive? Then the kid had to run home and fetch scissors, and a needle and thread, and the goat cut open the monster's stomach, and hardly had she made one cut, than one little kid thrust its head out, and when she had cut farther, all six sprang out one after another, and were all still alive, and had suffered no injury whatever. For his greediness, the monster had swallowed them down whole. What rejoicing there was! They embraced their dear mother and jumped like a tailor at his wedding. The mother, however, said, Now, go and look for some big stones, and we fill the wicked beast's stomach with them while he is still asleep. Then the seven kids dragged the stones thither with all speed, and put as many of them into his stomach as they could get in. And the mother sewed him up again in the greatest haste, so that he was not aware of anything and never once stirred. When the wolf at length had his fill of sleep, he got on his legs, and as the stones in his stomach made him very thirsty, he wanted to go to a well to drink. But when he began to walk and to move about, the stones in his stomach knocked against each other and rattled. Then cried he, What rumbles and tumbles against my poor bones? I thought 'twas 6 kids, but it feels like big stones. And when he got to the well and stooped over to the water to drink, the heavy stones made him fall in, and he had to drown miserably. When the seven kids saw that, they came running to the spot and cried aloud, The wolf is dead! The wolf is dead! And danced for joy round about the well with their mother. Wow, that's pretty dark. Okay. Faithful John. There was once upon a time an old king who was ill, and thought to himself, I am lying on what must be my deathbed. Then said he, "Tell faithful John to come to me." Faithful John was his favorite servant, and was so called because he had for his whole life long been so true to him. When therefore he came beside the bed, the king said to him, "Most faithful John, I feel my end approaching, and I have no anxiety except about my son. He is still of tender age and cannot always know how to guide himself. If you do not promise me to teach him everything that he ought to know, and to be his foster father, I cannot close my eyes in peace." Then answered faithful John, "I will not forsake him, and will serve him with fidelity, even if it should cost me my life." At this the old king said, "Now I die in comfort and peace." Then he added, "After my death you shall show him the whole castle, all the chambers, halls, and vaults, and all the treasures which lie therein. But the last chamber in the long gallery, in which is the picture of the princess of the golden dwelling, shall you not show. If he sees the picture, he will fall violently in love with her, and will drop down in a swoon, and go through great danger for her sake. Therefore you must protect him from that." And when faithful John had once more given his promise to the old king about this, the king said no more, but laid his head on his pillow and died. When the old king had been carried to his grave, faithful John told the young king all that he had promised his father on his deathbed, and said, "This will I assuredly keep, and will be faithful to you as I have been faithful to him, even if it should cost me my life." When the morning was over, faithful John said to him, "It is now time that you should see your inheritance. I will show you your father's palace." No, sorry, I'm checking my phone for messages. "It is now time that you should see your inheritance. I will show you your father's palace." Then he took him about everywhere, up and down, and let him see all his riches, and the magnificent apartments. Only there was one room which he did not open, that in which hung the dangerous picture. The picture, however, was so placed that when the door was opened, he looked straight on it, excuse me, and it was so admirably painted that it seemed to breathe and live. There is nothing more charming or more beautiful in the whole world. The young king noticed, however, that faithful John always walked past this one door and said, "Why do you never open this one for me?" "There is something within it," he replied, "which would terrify you." But the king answered, "I have seen all the palace, and I want to know what is in this room also." And he went and tried to break open the door by force. Then faithful John held him back and said, "I promised your father before his death that you should not see that which is in this chamber. It might bring the greatest misfortune on you and on me." "Ah, no," replied the young king. "If I do not go in, it will be my certain destruction. I should have no rest day or night until I had seen it with my own eyes. I shall not leave the place now until you have unlocked the door." Then faithful John saw that there was no help for it now, and with a heavy heart and many sighs, sought out the key from the great bunch. When he had opened the door, he went in first, and thought by standing before him he could hide the portrait so that the king should not see it in front of him. But what good was this? The king stood on tiptoe and saw it over his shoulder, and when he saw the portrait of the maiden, which was so magnificent and adorned with gold and precious stones, he fell fainting to the ground. Faithful John took him up and carried him to his bed, and sorrowfully thought, "The misfortune has befallen us. Lord God, what will be the end of it?" Then he strengthened him with wine until he came to himself again. The first words the king said were, "Ah, the beautiful portrait! Whose is it?" "That is the princess of the golden dwelling," answered faithful John. Then the king continued, "My love for her is so great that if all the leaves on all the trees were tongues, they could not declare it. I will give my life to win her. You are my most faithful John, you must help me. The faithful servant considered within himself for a long time how to set about the matter, for it was difficult even to obtain a sight of the king's daughter. At length he thought of a way, and said to the king, "Everything which she has about her is of gold: tables, chairs, dishes, glasses, bowls, and household furniture. Among your treasures are 5 tons of gold. Let one of the goldsmiths of the kingdom fashion these into all manner of vessels and utensils, into all kinds of birds, wild beasts, and strange animals, such as may please her, and we will go there with them and try our luck." The king ordered all the goldsmiths to be brought to him, and they had to work night and day excuse me, until at last the most splendid things were prepared. When everything was stowed on board a ship, faithful John put on the dress of a merchant, and the king was forced to do the same in order to make himself quite unrecognizable. Then they sailed across the sea, and sailed on until they came to the town wherein dwelt the princess of the golden dwelling. Faithful John bade the king stay behind on the ship and wait for him. "Perhaps I shall bring the princess with me," said he. "Therefore see that everything is in order. Have the golden vessel set out and the whole ship decorated." Then he gathered together his apron, all kinds of golden things, went on shore, and walked straight to the royal palace. When he entered the courtyard of the palace, a beautiful girl was standing there by the well with the 2 golden buckets in her hand, drawing water with them. And when she was turning round to carry away the sparkling water, she saw the stranger, and asked who he was. So he answered, "I am a merchant," and opened his apron, and let her look in. Then she cried, "Oh, what beautiful golden things!" and put her pails down and looked at the golden wares one after the other. Then said the girl, "The princess must see these. She has such great pleasure in golden things that she will buy all you have." She took him by the hand and led him upstairs, for she was the waiting maid. When the king's daughter saw the wares, she was quite delighted and said, "Uh, they are so beautifully worked that I will buy them all from you." But faithful John said, "I am only the servant of a rich merchant. The things I have here are not to be compared with those my master has in his ship. They are the most beautiful and valuable things that have ever been made in gold." When she wanted to have everything brought up to her, he said, "There are so many of them that it would take a great many days to do that, and so many rooms would be required to exhibit them, that your house is not big enough." Then her curiosity and longing were still more excited until at last she said, "Conduct me to the ship. I will go there myself and behold the treasures of your master." At this, faithful John was quite delighted, and led her to the ship, and when the king saw her, he perceived that her beauty was even greater than the picture had represented it to be, and thought no other than that his heart would burst in twain. Then she boarded the ship, and the king led her within. Faithful John, however, remained with the helmsman, and ordered the ship to be pushed off, saying, "Set sail till it fly like a bird in the air." But then the king showed her the golden vessels, every one of them, also the wild beasts and strange animals. Many hours went by while as she was seeing everything, and in her delight she did not observe that the ship was sailing away. After she had looked at the last, she thanked the merchant and wanted to go home. But when she came to the side of the ship, she saw that it was on the high seas far from land, and hurrying onwards with all sails set. "Ah!" cried she, in her alarm, "I am betrayed! I am carried away and have fallen into the power of a merchant! I would rather die!" The king, however, seized her hand and said, "I am not a merchant. I am a king, and of no meaner origin than you are, and if I have carried you away with subtlety, that has come to pass because of my exceeding great love for you. The first time that I looked on your portrait, I fell fainting to the ground." When the princess of the golden dwelling heard this, she was comforted, and her heart was drawn to him, so that she willingly consented to be his wife. It so happened while they were sailing onwards over the deep sea, that faithful John, who was sitting on the fore part of the vessel, making music, saw three ravens in the air, which came flying towards them. At this, he stopped playing and listened to what they were saying to each other, for that he well understood one cried, "Oh gosh, excuse me, excuse me. Hello? Hello? Um, yeah, it has a security gate. No, the office is like right, the like first building right there. It's it should just say office. No, yeah, on the exit, it'll automatically open. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I'll meet you outside. I'm okay. Bye bye. Sorry about that. I'm a little bit of a geek. How much more do I need to read? Because oh, I have quite a ways to go. Hello, Gregory. I just noticed the chats. Hello, hello. Um, I guess I'll end the stream here. I have to go. um, hopefully I'll stream tonight if my friends allow it. But for now I'll go. Thank you so much for joining and listening. Very much appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. I don't want all of you to wait too long for me to come back and walk away for quite a distance. So we'll cut the story short. I'm really sorry for cutting it short, but again, thank you so much for listening, watching, and I'll come back tomorrow. Bye. Tomorrow for sure. Tomorrow for sure, for sure, for sure. If not tonight, definitely tomorrow. I'm sorry. Goodbye.